Today, we're talking about prolonged fasting. But we're not just going to talk about it. We're giving you a science-backed roadmap. We're going to break down exactly what's happening inside your body and, more importantly, how to navigate the entire journey successfully and safely. Let's dive in.
So what if you could hit a reset button for your body? A process where it literally clears out old, damaged cells and even regenerates parts of your immune system. It might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but this is a program that's already built right into your biology.
And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. In the next few minutes, we're going to walk you through a science-backed phase-by-phase guide to unlock these benefits with a huge focus on strategy and, of course, on safety. So why would anyone go through all this trouble? Well, the rewards they're pretty profound. We're talking about triggering stem cells to build a younger, stronger immune system, kicking on a deep cellular cleaning process called autophagy, and completely rewiring your metabolism to get incredibly good at burning fat for fuel.
Look, this isn't some random, chaotic process. It's actually a very predictable journey. And when you break it down into 5 distinct phases, the whole thing becomes a lot less intimidating and way more manageable.
All right, so here's the map. And notice, it starts 72 hours before you even stop eating. That's the preparation phase. Then you've got the transition, the metabolic shift into fat burning, that amazing high-clarity Zen state, and then, the most critical part of all, the refeed. Let's start right at the beginning.
Phase 1. I like to call this the runway, because what you do in these 3 days leading up to your fast pretty much dictates how smooth or how bumpy that takeoff is going to be. Success here is all about the prep work.
The goal here is super simple. You want to empty your body's sugar stores before the fast even begins. You do that by going keto, which empties out the glycogen in your liver, and then using some light cardio to burn off the rest. And this is a big one. You have to avoid that tempting, high-carb Last Supper. It sounds like a good idea, right? Go out with a bang? Wrong. All that does is spike your insulin, which is going to make the first couple of days of the fast feel way harder.
Okay, now for phase 2. This is often the toughest part for people. But here's the thing. If you understand what's actually happening inside your body, you can totally manage it. No problem.
You see, as your insulin levels drop, your kidneys get this signal to dump a bunch of sodium in water. It's a real thing called the Natriuresis of Fasting. And since every bit of sugar you store holds on to about 3 or 4 times its weight in water, you lose a ton of fluid and the critical minerals, the electrolytes, that go with it. This is the reason people feel kind of lousy at the beginning.
So this is your tactical cheat sheet for getting through those first couple of days. Feeling a little dizzy or getting a headache, that's almost always low sodium. A little pinch of salt under your tongue can fix that like almost instantly. What about that sudden, intense wave of hunger? That's just a hormone called ghrelin doing its thing. It passes. Go for a quick 10-minute walk or just dive into a really focused task and you'll be amazed how fast it disappears. This isn't about raw willpower, it's about being smart and working with your biology.
All right, so you've pushed through that initial transition. Now you're entering phases 3 and 4. And this, my friends, is where the real magic starts to happen. This is where you unlock those incredible benefits we were talking about earlier. The first huge payoff is something called autophagy. Seriously, just think of it as your body's internal deep cleaning crew. They've been waiting for the green light, and now they finally get to go to work, recycling all the old, junky cell parts and just cleaning house. This process really kicks into high gear right around that 48-hour mark. But at the same time, something else is going on. Your brain, which has pretty much been running on sugar its whole life, is making a massive switch. It's shifting over to a brand new, super efficient fuel source, ketones. And when that happens, wow, everything changes.
You see, ketones trigger a huge spike in this molecule called BDNF. And honestly, the best way to think about BDNF is like miracle grow for your brain. It helps you grow new neurons, and it is the secret sauce behind that legendary mental clarity and razor-sharp focus that fasters always talk about.
Okay, look at this number, 2,000%. What is that? That's the potential spike in your own growth hormone. It's your body's brilliant, built-in defense system to make sure you protect your precious muscle mass while you're not eating. How smart is that?
And that brings us to our final, and I mean this, the most critical phase, the return. You've hit this incredible peak state, this Zen state, but this is also where the biggest risk is hiding.
So you're in this Zen state. Your mind is just firing on all cylinders, inflammation in your body is way down, and you're running on this incredibly clean, efficient energy. It feels absolutely amazing. But
How you come out of this state is probably the single most important decision you'll make in this entire journey.
Because, and I can't stress this enough, the most dangerous part of a prolonged fast is actually breaking it. If you just slam your body with a bunch of carbs, you can cause a really dangerous shift in your electrolytes. It's a condition called refeeding syndrome. Now, it's rare, but it is incredibly serious.
So the way back is gentle. It has to be deliberate. You start with something super light, like a cup of bone broth or maybe one soft-boiled egg, just to wake up the system. Then you wait. About 2 hours later, you can introduce some healthy fats and probiotics, think sauerkraut or avocado, to start rebuilding that gut health. Notice what's not on the list? No carbs, no sugar. Not yet.
I want you to think of your gut after a fast like a freshly tilled garden. It's a totally clean slate. So the very first foods you put in there are like the seeds you're planting. And those seeds are going to determine what grows in that garden for weeks and weeks to come. You want to plant the good stuff, right?
Okay, now for a really, really important safety warning. This kind of fasting is absolutely not for everyone. If you have type 1 diabetes, a BMI under 18.5, a history of eating disorders, or if you're pregnant or lactating, you should not attempt this without direct professional medical supervision. It's just too risky. And honestly, for every single person, this is the final, non-negotiable rule. Please, talk to your doctor before you even think about fasting for more than 48 hours. This is a powerful, powerful tool, and you have to approach it with respect, knowledge, and professional guidance.
So there you have it. That's the map, from the prep work all the way to the safe return. Now that you know what your body is truly capable of, what its own built-in programming can do, the real question is, which part of it are you most curious to explore?